Tim Walz. Timmy Tampon Tim. Timmy Tampon Tim. A couple days ago, he said some crazy stuff. He said, I can literally kick all their butts. And then he's out here doing town halls, trying to get support to run for a potential president candidacy. I see AOC and Bernie Sanders. That's a weird couple doing shenanigans together. That might be the ticket. But Tim Walz says he wants to run too.
Founder Charlie Kirk is here. All right. How much longer does Chuck Schumer have, Charlie?
Oh, boy, that's a good question. I hope a lot longer because he keeps on losing to Trump.
Yeah.
He's been great for us. Everything that President Trump's been asking for, this guy doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't know how to stand up against it. And the Democrats, look, it's so performative. They're shrieking. It's kind of part of their whole shtick. They're not used to having these kind of inter-party fights. For the last couple of years, you know what's always kept them together? Opposition to Donald Trump. That is no longer sufficient. It's no longer enough just to say that we are against Trump. President Trump is in the masterclass best form we've ever seen him. He's playing offense. He's operating with precision. His team is doing a phenomenal job. And Chuck Schumer doesn't even know how to deal with his own Democrat base. That was a phenomenal open, Jesse. And the one thing that Democrats don't mention, and Seth Moulton almost talked about it, is maybe there's something wrong with the stated core of how masculine he is, trying to not even be able to load a shotgun or fix a truck. I'll tell you one thing. The most masculine thing that someone can do in America today is stand up for women that are not able to stand up for themselves.
Right.
So while Tim Walz is going on Gavin Newsom's podcast, attacking me, by the way, saying that I'm a bad guy, well, I'm sorry, Governor Walz. One thing that we don't have in common is, unlike you in Minnesota, I, every single day, am actually fighting for female privacy in locker rooms and that women's sports will not have men in them. Real men stand up for women when they're not able to stand up for themselves.
I've seen Charlie throw a football. You have an arm. And Coach Walz, he talks about how much he loves football. I've never seen him throw a football.
Tim Walz likes Madden football, video game football. Tim Walz isn't... They put him on the ticket because they were like, oh, he's a masculine man. He's not masculine at all. Patrick Kennedy says, where's the merch link store? It's Patrick Kennedy. It's actually in the description link down below. You can check out the merch link down below. Tampon Tim is a certified piece of work. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Oh, man. Timmy Tampon Walz, trying to stay relevant.
Kick most of their ass. I do think that if they want to do it. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
After Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said that about Trump supporters on California Governor Gavin Newsom's podcast this week, WWE legend Kane is challenging Walz to a wrestling match. Kane, whose real name is Glenn Jacobs, is now the Republican mayor of Knox County in Tennessee, and asked Walz to step into the ring with a post to X Thursday saying, all joking aside, Governor Tim Walz, let's put our money where our mouth is in a charity wrestling match. We'll split the gate 50-50 between our chosen organizations. I'll kick things off myself with a $10,000 donation. What do you say? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis offered to host the wrestling match in his state, saying in a post to X, Florida can serve as the neutral site host. We've got a lot of great spots and a lot of wrestling fans. Jacobs, who once partnered with The Undertaker in the WWE, forming the Brothers of Destruction duo, made a video on TikTok in October supporting President Trump ahead of the election.
Choose wisely. The nation depends on it.
And that should be an easy choice.
Walz has not yet responded to the offer from Jacobs, whose bio on X reads, I used to beat up people for a living. Now...
Oh, I cannot imagine Tim Walz in a wrestling match. I would watch it, though. WWE legend Kane. He's now the mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs, challenged Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to a charity wrestling match. I would pay to see it. I would pay to see it. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh, that would be hilarious to see him get body slammed. I would love it. Oh, wow. Glenn Jacobs, Kane from the WWE, all joking aside, let's put our money where our mouth is. And then he did this little situation here. Glenn Jacobs hasn't wrestled in a while, but I think he could still beat Tim Walz behind. Yeah, they can make a lot of money out of that. Stacey, all right, so you know how much money they could make off of it? Yeah, I think people would pay to see it. People would pay just to see Tim Walz get body slammed. I would. Trump responds to claims that Tampon Tim Walz could kick Trump supporters' asses.
Quote from Tim Walz. I think I could kick most of their ass.
Oh boy, he'd be in trouble.
Is there any way to know?
Well, he's a loser, yeah. He's a loser. He lost an election. He played a part. You know, usually a vice president doesn't play a part, they say. I think Tim played a part. I think he was so bad that he hurt her. But she hurt herself, and Joe hurt them both. They didn't have a great group, but I would probably put him at the bottom of the group.
Have you heard that Biden wants to get back involved for
Yeah, that was the other thing too. Ducey mentioned that at the end of that clip. Biden wants to potentially get involved. I don't know. In regards of re-entering politics, Biden is cognitively gone. This guy needs to go somewhere. But in regards to Tim Walz and Kane, I would pay to see it. Terry says, I would love to see Kane give Tim Walz tombstone pile driver. 100%. Patrick Kennedy says he's a loser. That's what Donald Trump says. He's a loser. He is. Yeah, get the Undertaker out there too. Stephanie writes, dude doesn't even have a bank account. Yeah, he doesn't even own a home. He's the loser, right? It's hilarious. And, you know, when CNN starts calling Tim Walz a loser or a bozo, it is official. It's official, like a ref with the whistle.
Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest, and I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president. With that said, Elon Musk employs 80,000+ Americans. Most of them are working class people. The implications of the stock, let's say this were to continue on for another year, so I'm just throwing out a hypothetical. Will the company at some point have to decrease its workplace? Most of those people, I would imagine, probably vote for Democrats, at least some of them. So now you're impacting people who likely share your worldview because you disagree with Elon Musk. Don't buy the car. Just like those guys were saying, let's protest Anheuser-Busch, et cetera. We're just not going to buy their beer. I'm okay with that. But destroying public property, there is...
Classic.
Look, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me.
When CNN calls Tim Walz a complete moron, it has to be facts. It absolutely has to be facts. This leads us into some more Tesla stuff. People vandalizing, people throwing feces on cars and all this other stuff.